Hello, welcome to today's video diary for Finding My Way with Pi, Purpose, Intention, and Emotion. I am Pi. I have got this, I've got this thing on my mind that we were studying this week, and it's got me contemplating how things just kind of click together. So we were studying the Tao this week and Taoism and Lao Tzu. And really it's this thought and concept that there is this organizing intelligence and it's in all of nature. And we can't name it. It doesn't do anything by force. It's just this like, there's no name, there's no way to label it. Source, this existence, and it's in all of us, and every single human has this in them, just like all of nature does. So I listened to Wayne Dyer, who was a student of the Tao, and Oprah Winfrey actually interviewed him a while ago. I think it was around 2014. And the interview was called The Wisdom of the Tao. I'm looking at my notes just off to the left here on my laptop screen because these were my notes from what I was studying this week and what hit me after listening to that interview and what hit me after understanding at a deeper level what the Tao is, which translates to the way. If you haven't heard of it, I highly recommend searching up on YouTube Wayne Dyer and Oprah Winfrey, The Wisdom of the Tao. It's a good introduction to it, and Wayne Dyer is just an incredibly soulful individual and wonderful to listen to. He shared a story. So two things I want to talk about. He shared a story and this perspective shift on life. And these two things that I want to talk about are interconnected, but he talked about forgiveness, and then he talked about this focus on giving instead of getting. And so I've been contemplating this the last few days. First, he talked about how he had a pretty troubled childhood. His father walked out on the mother, who was young and had, I believe it was like 4 boys by the age of 23. And then they kind of grew up in the foster system, going from home to home, and that he had a lot of rage as a young man. And his father was an alcoholic and had abandoned them, and he felt just so much rage at that for most of his life. He ended up at his father's graveside as a young man. And in that moment, after the way he explains it, he stomped and spit and raged and screamed at the grave. And then after that was a turning point moment for him. He said, "From this moment on, I will not be angry at you anymore. I will only give you love." And this is where he talked about it wasn't that anything in his life had ever been wrong. He said he realized in that moment it had actually always been perfect. Even the most difficult stuff he went through. Not that it was easy or enjoyable, but that it had always been perfect because it led him to that moment where he learned the most important lesson to learn on this planet, which is forgiveness. And I still get chills. Even saying it out loud, listening to that part of the interview, thinking about it, I get chills. If you followed along in my video diaries, you know I've had some pretty tough and traumatic experiences myself. To shift the perspective to an understanding that, oh, it was always perfect. Because had that not been, I never would be exactly where I am right now, understanding some of the most important aspects of being whole and being human. And then being able to teach others. My life has been perfect for me to end up right here, right now. Wow. Talk about the deepest sense of trust in life and acceptance. That's amazing. Which leads me to the next thing that I've been thinking about deeply. Wayne Dyer talked about how he had been invited to be part of that. I guess it's called a documentary, but many people have seen it. It's incredibly popular. It's called The Secret. And there's a whole lot about The Secret that I love. But one part about it that never sat right with me, and it could just be my interpretation of it, I don't know, but it really felt a lot like it's focused on, it felt like it was control through not controlling, but wishing your way and visualizing your way into something you want in your life so that you can get more. And I don't think that's what they intended, but that's really what it felt like at the end of the day, which is like wishing yourself there. And I don't think that that's the whole equation. Then Wayne Dyer, in this interview I listened to with Oprah, shared that he had declined actually to participate in The Secret because he thinks that there was a little bit too much emphasis on getting instead of giving, and that truly it's actually all about giving, because there's this interconnectedness about giving and receiving that makes things work. You don't have to force them. You don't have to control to get what you want. You don't have to do anything. You give and trust, and there's this reciprocal nature in, I don't know what you want to call it, the world, in life, in the universe, that when we let go of the need to control, it flows effortlessly when we give. And I started thinking about this because I still believe I'm learning how to personally put my emphasis on giving. I don't believe that we're taught this. I think we're taught from early on, when we're born onwards, that it's about getting. How do you achieve? How do you get the best grades? How do you get the best scores? How do you get the best job and get the most money and get the neatest things and get the perfect family and get the perfect, it's just all about getting. And what I know is that all the getting in the world didn't do anything for my soul. It didn't do anything for my authentic happiness. But here's some very simple things that did do something for my authentic happiness. So I started giving myself compassion. I learned how to heal from trauma. That's what I received. When I gave myself compassion, I received the gift of healing from trauma. When I gave my deceased father forgiveness, I received what to me feels like he's with me now in a very healthy way. Might sound crazy to some people, but until I could forgive, I couldn't ever connect with him and his memory and his spirit and this trust in life that it happened as it was meant to. I had a hard time connecting with that. And then I forgave, and that all opened up to me. I was able to receive that. Now I'm trying to give my children understanding and acceptance just of who they are, just trying to see them for who they are, give them compassion. And I feel like what I receive from that is a deeper connection with them and a closer bond. This cycle of giving and then just being and then receiving is inevitably part of it. It's just allowing and letting go. It's really interesting. And so then what do I feel like outside of that? Call it a virtuous cycle of giving and receiving. That one of the things I'm connecting that Wayne Dyer is talking about is when you just kind of let go of the need to control, the pieces just seem to effortlessly fall into place. In fact, he says you work so hard trying to get these things that you want, and then when you let go and you stop trying to force anything, suddenly everything's there. I felt like there was this effortless puzzle pieces clicking into place, maybe getting close to 7 months removed from when I left my corporate job. And I've done a whole lot of healing and just being and listening to my inner voice and learning a lot of truths about what it means to be whole, what it means to be human, what it means to have this human experience, and learning how to tune into myself that way and listen to my intuition and listen to my gut. When we drove past that sign just about a week ago, we exited off the highway and there was a sign that said Yorkie puppies with a phone number. And I was like, I have to call that. Now, that was my intuition and what my inner voice was telling me. And then there was this, I guess, ego telling me, you don't do that. The puppies aren't good quality. When people put up signs like this, I don't even know what I was telling myself. I don't know what I was telling myself. I was making it a struggle against what my inner voice was telling me. We did have family discussions about it. We chose to call, and I did. And I can't believe how amazing the experience has been with the family who had the dogs. They had a care package for the dogs. They were fully vaccinated and dewormed. They were well adjusted to home life and being around people and out in social places. Just amazing, an amazing experience with our new addition, Cricket. And also, what that has brought into this family is precious. And it's exactly what we all needed right now in different ways. And my perspective on it for hubby is learning to let go and not try to control everything and receive the love and receive the goodness that comes in when you do that. For me, it is an opportunity to practice putting that emphasis on giving, to practice being the observer, to practice being here now and being playful and being joyful and full of love. And for my daughter, I think it is deep emotional support and love and connection. And also for both of my kids, it's bringing in so much togetherness with the family. There was never an intentional growing apart. It's just as kids grow up, it happens. And also, like many parents today, we struggle with the balancing of electronics and pulling that back and making sure that that's healthy. This has given us a gentle and loving intervention to all be together because we're all with the puppy, and then we're all together, and then we're all playing together, and then we're all joyful together, and then we're all in the moment together, and the electronics are not there. And I know there's so many more blessings that this dog is bringing to us. I also know we needed this so badly in our family, and it is a gift, and it just clicked into place without trying to force anything. So all of that to say, studying the Tao this week, and particularly Wayne Dyer, the way he talks about it really resonated with me. I'm able to see what it feels like to me as seeing the way the Tao at work. I feel like for the first time in a very long time, maybe since I was a child, a very young child, this deep belief and knowing and acceptance that it was always perfect. Despite everything I ever tried to do, and despite running from pain or trying to force certain outcomes, the career, the salary, the whatever. When I forced something, it wasn't right. It was imbalanced. It doesn't work that way. So now trusting myself and trusting my voice and trusting life feels very different. I'm fully aware of and grateful that this is possible for me right now because of my life circumstance. Listen, look how perfect this is. I couldn't even see it at the moment until looking back. All that work I did, all the hard work, the salary, everything I earned helped us have some runway for me to have this time to figure this out for myself, to rediscover my voice, own my story, feel whole, build a community to help others learn how to do this, and also all together, this network of connections and deep love and gratitude. My family has come together to let me heal, and I am deeply grateful. And they are giving me that. I'm receiving it, and I know there will be a virtuous cycle of this where I will be able to give them in this circular uplifting. I'm going to call it a cycle because it just does. It just flows. So coming to you today from a place of deep knowing and peace in the midst of a puppy delighted home. Thank you for being with me on this journey. I'm so glad that you're here, and I hope it helps you too. I'll see you tomorrow.